Let's say you just got a raise. Not a small one. A real one. 15, maybe 20%. You did the math in your head before it even hit your bank account. The credit card. The savings. Maybe a vacation. Finally, some breathing room. Then 3 months pass. And somehow, you're in the exact same spot you were before. Same anxiety. Same tightness at the end of the month. Same quiet dread when you open your banking app. More money came in. And it just disappeared. Like it was never there at all. This isn't a discipline problem. It's not about subscriptions or the special dinner you probably feel guilty about right now. What's happening to you has a name. Economists have studied it for decades. And the uncomfortable part is this: the system you live inside is specifically, almost elegantly designed to make sure the feeling never goes away. This is the scarcity trap. And once you see how it works, you can't unsee it. Here's the thing about money and psychology that almost nobody talks about honestly. In 2013, two researchers, Sendhil Mullainathan from Harvard and Eldar Shaffer from Princeton, published a book called Scarcity. The central finding was this: when people feel they don't have enough of money, time, or anything, their brain shifts into a kind of tunnel vision. You become hyper-focused on the immediate shortage. And in doing so, you lose cognitive bandwidth for everything else. They called it the bandwidth tax. When you're broke or feel broke, roughly 13 IQ points of mental capacity are quietly consumed just managing that stress. That's the equivalent of losing a full night's sleep. Every day. Just from financial anxiety, not from being poor. From feeling financially constrained, which, it turns out, you can feel at almost any income level. And here's where it gets darker. That tunnel vision makes you worse at the very decisions that would get you out. You borrow at high interest because the immediate pain of not having the money outweighs the abstract future cost of the debt. You don't invest because investing feels like giving up something real today for something invisible tomorrow. You make the rational short-term choice over and over, and it slowly adds up to an irrational long-term outcome. The trap doesn't care how smart you are. It's not targeting your character. It's targeting your attention. Now layer on top of that something called lifestyle inflation. This one's almost too simple to take seriously. But the numbers are brutal. The average American household income has risen, in real terms, pretty consistently over the past 50 years. And yet the personal savings rate in America in the 1970s hovered around 12%. By 2005, it had dropped to nearly zero. In recent years it's bounced between 3 and 5%, depending on who's counting and what crisis just happened. More money, less saved. Almost mathematically perfect. Because every time income goes up, spending recalibrates. The apartment gets bigger. The car gets newer. The phone upgrade happens a little faster. The dinners get slightly more expensive. None of it feels like extravagance. It feels like normal. It feels like what people at your income level do. Because it is. That's the point. There's an economic concept called the hedonic treadmill, the idea that humans rapidly adapt to improved circumstances and return to a baseline level of satisfaction. You get the raise. You feel great for about 6 weeks. Then that's just what life costs now, and you need another raise to feel great again. The treadmill never stops. It just gets faster. Here's the mechanism nobody draws attention to. The entire consumer economy is built on the assumption that you will do this, not as a moral failure, as a feature. Retailers know that the moment your income increases, your spending will follow, usually within 90 days. Credit card companies know that your credit limit will feel like your money the moment it appears. Subscription services are specifically priced to fall just below the threshold where you'd bother to cancel them. Individually, each one is invisible. Collectively, they form a kind of gravitational field pulling your money outward before you've even decided what to do with it. And the most sophisticated part of this? It's aspirational. The products targeting the exact income bracket just above yours are not accidental. They are specifically designed to make you feel like you're almost there, one purchase away from the life you're supposed to have. The luxury brand with the entry-level product, the premium tier at just $10 more a month. The neighborhood where the houses are slightly bigger than where you live now. You are not being sold things. You are being sold an identity at a price point just slightly beyond comfortable. And the gap between where you are and where you feel you should be, that gap is the product. Now zoom out. Because this isn't just personal finance. This is structural. The median American worker today would need to save roughly 15 to 20% of their income, consistently, for 30 to 40 years to retire with financial security, depending on whose math you use. Most are saving less than 5. That's not a gap. That's a chasm. And it can't be explained by individual behavior alone. Wages for the bottom 50% of earners have grown by about 25% since 1980, adjusted for inflation. The cost of housing, healthcare, and education, the three largest expenditures in a middle-class life, have grown by 200, 500, and 1,200% respectively over the same period. The math doesn't work. It was never designed to work. So when the financial content industrial complex tells you to cut your discretionary spending and invest the difference, they're not wrong, exactly. But they're solving a $30 problem and a $3,000 crisis and calling it a plan. The irony is almost poetic. The people most likely to be caught in the scarcity trap are also the least likely to have the cognitive bandwidth, the time, or the social capital to engineer their way out of it. The tools that work, index funds, employer matches, real estate, equity compensation, are disproportionately accessible to the people who need them least. And the people who do break out? They almost universally describe the same thing. Not discipline, not a budget app. A moment where they stopped optimizing their spending and started questioning the entire framework they were living inside. They changed the game, not the score. So here's the question this leaves you with. If the trap is partly psychological and partly structural? If it's the bandwidth tax meeting lifestyle inflation meeting an economy that profits from the gap, then what exactly is the solution? Because spend less than you earn is technically correct the same way breathe more oxygen is technically correct for someone drowning. True. Unhelpful. Slightly insulting. The honest answer is that there isn't one clean answer. There are leverage points, moments where small structural changes compound into something meaningful. Automating savings before you see the money. Controlling the environment that controls your spending. Understanding that the discomfort of not upgrading is the scarcity trap talking, not reality. But more than any tactic, it starts with understanding that the feeling of never having enough is not a personal failing. It is a designed experience. You are living inside a system that needs you to feel almost but not quite okay. Because that feeling is what keeps the whole thing moving. Remember, more water won't save a boat with a hole in the bottom. It just makes it sink faster under the weight. If your definition of a good life always sits exactly 5% above your current salary, you will remain broke until the day you die, regardless of how many zeros are on your tax return. So the real question isn't how much you need to earn to finally feel secure. The question is, why are you so willing to let the world dictate the price of your peace of mind? If this perspective challenged how you look at your bank account, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive, and drop a comment below. Are you trapped on the lifestyle treadmill, or have you figured out how to step off? Let's talk about it.